Lynch. 2 seconds, 1 second. Kobe pump fake. Kobe for the win. Kobe Bryant.
1-2. He loops out to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play, and flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter.
Roethlisberger, last time, throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
This is the Person NFL podcast. I'm your host, Colton Guest. We got an exciting show on tap for you today. Special guest, Nithin Ramachandra from the NR Sports Show. See his stuff all the time on Instagram. So I said, hey, screw it. Let's have him on, talk some sports, and got quite a bit of resume for you. Thanks for coming on, Nithin.
Yeah, first of all, Colton, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. And like I said, we have to return the favor to have you back on the show at some point. And like I said, you're doing a great job with your stuff, and I'm excited for this opportunity to come on your show, and let's get it going.
Yeah, for sure. So going into your show, the NR Sports Show, find on Instagram at the NR Sports Show, or the NR out.
Yeah, underscore.
This is the show. You find that on Instagram. And, I mean, let me tell you, posting stuff, this guy's probably one of the best. Posts everything possible, keeps you up to date, what shows are coming out, what time they're going to be out. You can join in live, watch them. Talk about your stuff, man. Over 700 shows is quite impressive.
Yeah, so I started this. So I started this last year, actually, when the sport shut down. I said, I told my friends and all my other friends and the people who misses the sports when the sport shut down last year. So I told myself, let me come up with a show where I can keep the fans entertained and all my friends entertained. So I came up with the show, and actually, so someone else gave me this name. So I didn't come up with the name. Someone else gave me the name. So thank you to that person who gave me the name for the show. But I started this last year, and I didn't expect this to grow like this, but I started doing interviews on Instagram Live, mainly only Instagram Live when I started off. And actually, my first guest that I had on the show was Jim Down, a former Devils player, hockey. That was the first guest I ever had on the show, and then I went from there. And then eventually, halfway through the year of last year, obviously all of us were going through a struggle with pandemic, but I brought in a co-host. Her name was Ariel Schaefer from Alabama University. Unfortunately, she couldn't continue on with us because she was focusing on her master's program at Alabama. So she's back at Alabama right now, actually doing her master's for rowing. She does rowing as a sport, and then after that, I went back to the interviews myself, interviewing people myself, and then I said, I found this page, another page on the Instagram. Her name was Alyssa Charleston. I said, let me look her up. And man, she has a resume, covers Gonzaga basketball, a former Hooper, Pac-12 reporter too. And I said, well, let me reach out to her to see if she wants to come on as a co-host. And then we had a Zoom meeting, and she agreed to come on. So she's my current co-host right now as we speak. And I ended up building a team of 6 to help us out with the show also. And we have a great team here. And obviously, we're pushing a lot of episodes. We're at 731 right now, and more to come. And I just want to say thank you to all the fans, my friends, my family for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. And like I said, more things to come. And I didn't expect this to grow, but I'm just grateful to be in this position. And then for these athletes to take time to come on the show is because our show is still growing, and some players think that it's not time to go on, but they come on. They have time to come on and just to talk. Our show is about it's the laid back conversation. We're not like reporters where they ask 20 questions. We're not that. We're a laid back type of show where we're casual conversation with them and make sure talk about their careers, their families, legacies, and that's it. And like I said, I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support.
Yeah, like you said, 731, have that number right here. It's quite impressive, from Brian Urlacher to your latest show with Dean Blandino, from Fox officiating. I mean, if anyone watches football, you know who Dean Blandino is. So, I mean, it's quite impressive.
And by the way, if you need help with any guests, just reach out to me. I can help you out with the guests on your show, man. We're always helping other people with to have guests on their show. So if you need any help getting guests for your show, we're willing to help you.
Absolutely. Likewise to you. I got some people as well. But going into why I brought you on here, talk some sports, man. Break down your teams here. We'll start off with the Dallas Cowboys. Very interesting offseason.
Yeah.
They signed their man. Dak Prescott is back in the building. He's back, gets his big deal that he's been waiting for. I think Dallas could have helped themselves out last year by giving it to him a year early. Could have saved them some money. Instead, they don't, and they pay him a boatload of money. What are your thoughts on Dallas bringing back Dak?
I like it. He's obviously from day one. I knew that he was going to be a leader for the team, and I always tell people, I look back at his rookie season when Tony Romo went down with his back injury. He took us to the playoffs first year, 13-3. He gave us 13 wins in his rookie year, and obviously this horrific injury that happened this year, and hopefully he comes back strong. And by the reports I've been hearing, he looks good and he's ready. But when I heard the rumors that Russell Wilson had Dallas on his list when he was on the trade market, and he had Dallas on his list, I said, Jerry Jones, go get Russell Wilson. But I think at the end of the day, I think we made the smart business move by bringing back Dak, and he deserves that money. Dak has been through a lot with his family, losing his mother at 15 years old and his brother also. So I think this is our franchise quarterback, and I believe in him, and hopefully eventually he leads us to a Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision. As you said, Dak's been through a lot. The injury last season, crazy. He still had more passing yards, I think maybe 3 weeks after his injury than 4 other quarterbacks. It's impressive. Dak wasn't the problem last year in Dallas. The defense loses some players. Xavier Woods goes to Minnesota. Awuzie goes to Cincinnati. I mean, the defense is still a problem. What are your thoughts on the defense? There's a lot of holes.
See, I don't mind losing Xavier Woods, and I'm going to miss Awuzie because he brought a lot of energy. But Woods, to be honest, I think he's still a young, developing player. Obviously, he's a hard-hitting safety, but I don't think he didn't fit our system. So, obviously, we brought in Kenny O'Neal. I love that move from Atlanta. That's a big move. DeMonte Kesey, another one coming off an injury. Hopefully, he's healthy. Dan Quinn, I think Dan Quinn was the biggest acquisition this offseason. I really like that hire for defensive coordinator. And Dan Quinn is going to bring a lot to the team. And obviously bringing two of his former players on the team, it's going to be a big help. And also, we brought in 2 defensive tackles in. And I love Brett Urban from Chicago. I think that's going to be a great signing. I like him. And obviously more moves to come. And to be honest, I think they need to focus on more defense in the draft. So I've been hearing Patrick Surtain as a name at the number 10 pick for us. So that's a name to keep an eye on for a defensive back. But I think Jerry Jones is having a great offseason under smart signings and then smart coaching hires too. So.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain is a big name coming out, probably one of the best corners in the game. So that's definitely a player to look out for Dallas. As you said, defense is a need. Rumors are they're looking to bring back Sean Lee. I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer them to bring back Aldon Smith, who had a very good team last year for them as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Aldon Smith had a surprise year for us. No one expected that after not playing football for 5 years. And for him to be able to get caught up fast in our defense, man, I think if we can get him back, that's a big plus. And also I've been hearing that the Cowboys are in talks with KJ Wright for a possible deal because KJ Wright wants to come to Dallas. That's his dream team. And obviously the Seattle linebacker, I think we need to get him. I think Dan Quinn is really lobbying for him. Bring him in, man, because you can if Leighton Vander Esch gets hurt, plug. Actually, KJ Wright's going to be a starter anyway. So that linebacker crew, if we can get KJ Wright, that's a pretty good one. We have like 4 or 5 quality linebackers on the team.
Yeah, KJ Wright for sure. Fantastic linebacker there for Seattle. Going on to some of your other teams here. The New York Knicks, I mean, surprising season nonetheless. Tom Thibodeau comes in the offseason. And, I mean, geez Louise, who would have thought we were sitting here? What are they, 5 or 6 seed right now?
They're tied for the 4th with Charlotte.
So who would have thought that? Hats off to Tibbs here. Comes in. What are your thoughts on the Knicks, man? Not what I was expecting with Julius Randle having an impressive season. Clearly an all-star. Could be having some conversations for MVP from some people. But what are your thoughts on the Knicks?
As a Knicks fan, and plus the new front office, Worldwide West, and Leon Rose, that's a big plus for us. And Tom Thibodeau, to all the haters out there, man, this guy is a heck of a coach. This guy knows he knows the game, and I think we're gonna definitely make the playoffs if everything goes well. So and plus we have better players around Julius Randle, Derrick Rose. Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin is still, for me, it's the project. He needs to still develop. But I really like the team this year. I think they play last year. For example, if they're down by 15, they didn't know how to come back. But this year they know how to continue to fight hard until the end. So I really like what they're doing, and I think we're tops in defense still because of Tom Thibodeau. So it's a big help, big plus, and obviously we just lost Mike Woodson to Indiana as a head coach there. So that's going to be a big loss for us as assistant coach. But all in all, a great season, exceeded expectations. This reminds me of the 2017 Yankee team when they traded off everyone, but they still made the playoffs. Or actually, they almost made the playoffs, I think, that year. Yeah, but they kept fighting hard. So this team does definitely remind me of that Yankee team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this team has a lot of heart in them. Tibbs has them playing extremely well. Sad to see Mitchell Robinson going down with this broken foot there. Very unfortunate. Came back from his injury early on. I believe he had like a broken wrist. Comes back, gets hurt again, breaks his foot. Done for the season for the Knicks. But Julius Randle, I mean, he's pretty much the clear-cut story here of this Knicks team. He's dominant.
Yeah.
Not close. My man has taken over this Knicks team. And some may not like the way Tibbs is doing things, where Kevin Knox has kind of gotten lost in 0 minutes. Frank Ntilikina kind of hasn't been the player that Phil Jackson thought he was when he drafted him. But overall, this team's absolutely amazing and a lot of great – and it's a Tom Thibodeau team. It really is.
So speaking of Julius Randle, this obviously he deserves to be in the MVP talks. But to be honest, I don't think he's going to get it. It's going to obviously James Harden, man. I think he deserves MVP. The way he's playing in Brooklyn right now, that Brooklyn team is scary, man. Once they have the full team healthy, I don't know who's going to stop them. I think the Lakers can stop them, but the Brooklyn Nets will be an overload. But I think Harden will get MVP. I'm predicting Harden will get MVP, but Julius Randle, he deserves some votes for sure.
For sure, yeah. All the other MVPs that we thought, and LeBron James, who was going to be a lock, Joel Embiid, who was going to be a lock. Yeah, they both get hurt, which opens the door here for James Harden. Looks like he's going to gallop his way into that. Final topic here for us here today. Talking about the Yankees. You mentioned them, the 2017 Yankees, that historic run. Now we're in the 2021 New York Yankees. There's been a lot of changes. They bring in Stanton a few years back. Judge clearly takes over the star-stunning outfield here for the Yankees. Clint Frazier seems to have secured himself left field now. What are your thoughts on the upcoming season for the Yankees?
I'm excited. Tomorrow's the day, opening day at Yankee Stadium with 20% capacity of fans. So I think a little normalcy is a good thing to see. And obviously, I like the rotation now. Go with Garrett Cole, obviously the horse of the rotation. And you got now Kluber, Taillon. If everybody stays healthy, this team has no excuse to win the World Series this year. This team is loaded. I expect bounce-back years from Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, even Judge and Stanton. Stanton looked good this spring, so watch out for him. And I love the way Cashman built this team, and obviously bringing back DJ LeMahieu is a big plus. He's a big part of our team, and Aaron Boone, he's a great manager, learning from year to year. He's been improving, and I mean the bullpen is always stacked. I like the bullpen, and there's this kid that who made the roster, who's gonna be in the bullpen, a lefty. Look out for. His name is Lucas Lichage, I think his name is. He had an unbelievable spring. So watch out for this kid. I think he's going to be a great player. But all in all, I'm just excited. Finally, baseball's back, and let's get it going.
Yeah,
Chase for 28.
Baseball's back. I'm pumped for it as well. Yankee fan here as well. So, yeah, I'm pumped. It's very interesting. I'm so over the Stanton thing, though, personally. If anyone's listening to me talk baseball, and I guess you could say I'm a Giancarlo hater. I'm not big on Stanton. I didn't like the move. Figure when they brought him in, their biggest hole was still starting pitching.
Right.
They finally get Garrett Cole, but I would love another legit arm in that starting rotation because so far you can't count on Severino. He keeps getting banged up. Hopefully, it sounds like possibly July, maybe later on this season. I'm not rushing. It's very simple. I'm not rushing him back. I want him 1,000% healthy. I don't want him 100. I want him 1,000 because he hasn't been healthy. But when he's been healthy, he's been very, very good. Ringer Herman has his stuff coming back.
Yeah, I forgot him. Yeah, German. Yeah.
So, Jameson Tyone comes in from Pittsburgh. Corey Kluber clearly comes in, see what he has left in the tank. I think there is a lot of expectations. I feel like that's kind of been the past 3 years with this team. You got to win the World Series this year, got to win the World Series. They always fall short. We will see what happens this season. I got some big hopes for it. Aaron Judge has to stay healthy. Comes out to him and stay. They got to stay healthy for this team to succeed. Their best player is DJ LeMahieu. It's not a question.
Yeah, I mean, obviously DJ LeMahieu is the MVP of the team. This guy can hit for days. Obviously, we were in the Lindor conversation, but once he went to the Mets, I think that's when Cashman had to ramp up the discussions with DJ to bring him back. And like I said, he's going to be a big part of our team for the next 6 years or whatever. So I'm excited, and Chase for 28 begins tomorrow. So let's go.
Yeah, I'm pumped for sure. So again, Nithin, I appreciate you coming on. This was a blast.
Oh, can you hear me? What happened?
Yeah, I said, oh, good. I said, thank you again for coming on. It was a blast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. And like I said, we're gonna get you on the show at some point, and keep up the great work. And this has been an honor for coming on your show. And thank you again.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. Always love talking to other sports fans and people that just love talking sports. So you could follow his show on Instagram at the NR Hour _. You can follow the Person to Foul podcast on Twitter at @foul_podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, that's where we're at. Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, it's there. Check out our latest show with Mike Gill, Matt Starks, Colin Thompson from the Carolina Panthers, and much more. That is a wrap for the Person to Foul podcast.
All right.